Chiefs, brought to you by Sheehan's Rustproofing. The Chiefs have just come out on the ice for a warm-up period. They're about to try for their 5th consecutive win. They're getting a good round of applause from their own booster club, who have traveled all the way from Charlestown to be here in Peterborough tonight.
If you're looking to buy or sell a home, make your next move a power play with Mike Burgoyne of Real Brokerage Realty. First responders, veterans, doctors, nurses, teachers, and yes, Let's Go Blues Radio listeners get special rates. Visit strikewithmike.com or email him at mike@strikewithmike.com and score big today.
Have you subscribed to the LGB Minute podcast yet? It's a 5-minute weekly St. Louis Blues podcast hosted by Jeff Ponder that is released multiple times a week to fill the gap between Let's Go Blues Radio episodes. Subscribe today.
So awesome, so handsome, so smart, you'll agree. Kurt, Jeff, and Bill are on TV. It's radio on TV. Oh yeah, it's radio on TV.
From St. Louis, I am Jeff Ponder, and I'm joined by a cuter version of Brady Shea, Sir Bill Day. Kurt Price is still facing allegations. We're bringing you the often imitated, never duplicated, Let's Go Storm the Capitol, the original St. Louis Blues hockey podcast, Let's Go Blues Radio. Are we ready to joke about that yet? I guess I should have asked that before.
way too soon, especially in light of everything else that's starting to happen.
Yeah. All right. Well, strike that one from the record.
Right.
This is the
Take
15th...
that out of the podcast version.
Yeah, no, it's staying in there. This is the 15th episode of season 15 and the 543rd episode all time. It's Tuesday, January 6th, and we're coming to you live. Tonight, we discuss the Blues' big weekend. We look ahead to the game against the Blackhawks tomorrow, the end of the 2026 World Junior Championships. We have Olympic news, we have rosters, all that and more on this winning episode of Let's Go Blues Radio. Bill, I am going to start us off with something we never, ever start off with. We're going to do, we're not doing Bill's save of the week. We are going to do Jeff's saves of the week.
Oh, God, no.
Yes.
Oh,
Here
God,
it
no.
is. Bill Day was back in net for the Force last night, and look at this big save here on the breakaway, makes a nice save, and then he gets another save right there. Look at this guy. He's all over the ice. You can't beat him. Look at that. And our podcast audience, I apologize, but here's some of Bill's highlights from Sunday night's action in where are we playing?
We were in Kirkwood. Were in Kirkwood.
That's
oh
right.
My God, I can't believe you got it.
Oh, I got it all. I got the whole game. I'm going to send it to you. Don't worry. But yes, Bill made some. This one right here is my favorite. Just swallowing the puck into the stomach. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
And you see here late in the game, another big save. He covers up. And what is this? It's Bill's first win. Oh, you can't see it. Dang it. Bill's first win since the George W. Bush administration. So congratulations, Bill. You won your first game. Was it? I just
it was
figured
Clinton.
It was Bush.
It was Clinton.
Was it Clinton?
It was Clinton.
Wait, so
it was
the first win since.
Hold on.
No, because Clinton was
No, you're
2000.
right. You're
so
right.
It would have been Bush.
It was W. Bush, not HW. I thought you were going further back. W.
No,
Bush. It was.
The last time Bill won a game, folks, the iPhone had not been invented. I don't even think we were using Blackberries yet. And Bill finally won this game. Congratulations, buddy. We have got probably listeners who have been born and graduated high school since the last time you won a game.
Yeah, more than likely. But yeah, not that I've been trying to win for that long. I just took a very long time off.
Yes. Yeah, you took what, 20 years exactly. I'm not exactly, but around 20 years, right?
Yeah, it was 19 or so.
Man, unbelievable. So Yeah, so Bill, you did play well, and we played well. We won that one 6-1 over the Frostbite. That was
The
our biggest
team-
win of the season.
Yeah, team was great. They took your coaching to heart from our bag skate practice you put us through.
Yeah, I did keep preaching that on the bench. I'm like, guys, we're winning because we had a practice coached by me, which I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but a couple guys did say that they learned a couple things about the breakout because of that practice. So we did have some nice breakouts. I think we had 2 or 3 breakout goals in that game. So very exciting. But the best part again was just seeing you finally get the W. I showed it in that video, the big hug. I hopped off the bench, and first thing I did was I skated out to you and I threw my arms up and I was like, Bill, you finally won.
Finally. Yeah. It's been a rough season. I mean, 2 9-goal against games. Yeah.
Yep. Well,
And
I will say, to our credit, one of those 9-goal against games, we only had 8 skaters. So anyone who plays knows how brutal that is.
Yeah, that was a rough one. And I mean, to be honest, this game started off terrible because that first shot was just a floater from going across the grain, and I was off my angle and fooled by a changeup, and I was pissed, but shook it off, and you guys picked me up, and yeah, we had a nice. Did we have a 3-1 lead by the end of the first?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. 3. So we went down 1-0 pretty quick, and I did give you trouble after the game. I didn't say anything during because I'm like, he knows what he did. I don't need to tell him.
Yes.
And because it was honestly probably one of the weaker goals you've given up in a while, and
which is saying a lot.
You locked it down, man. You really did. We mentioned that one save where you just kind of dove across and just swallowed the puck like nothing for the guy to shoot at. And it was just a really nice performance by you. You got our player of the game, well deserved. And hopefully you'll carry that into the next game, which is this coming Sunday.
Yeah, looking forward to it. And I, to feed back over into our show, I took my inspiration from a certain number 50 of the Blues from a great performance on Saturday that I got to witness thanks to your brother's wonderful seats.
Yes, those are wonderful. Great seats. Everything about those seats are wonderful. And we got a couple comments here. Joe Schmo in the chat, another fellow I played hockey with. Billy Event Horizon Day with the win. Like that. Big Beaver, I'm out of breath thinking about that short of a bench, talking about the 8 skater game. I keep saying this. I know I've said this a million times in front of you. 23-man roster. We should never have an 8 skater bench, but that's just how it goes sometimes. We only had 11 for this game, which was, it's not terrible for beer league, but like it's definitely a little bit. It's at least like 2 players less than I'd like to have. So it was, and we were able to hang with this team. We didn't all get too tired. We had short shifts and everything was fine. But yeah, I mean, those games where you get 7, 8, 9, even 10 guys, it's just like, oh my God, like, no, we're too old for this.
Yeah. Hopefully next weekend we have a much earlier start. We should be well populated on that bench.
Yep, I agree. And Big Beaver, who plays beer league hockey, says men's league just be like that sometimes. Yes, unfortunately, that is the case. It's funny, like, because I took a long time off between ice hockey for myself. I played a lot of roller just because it was cheaper while I was in college. And so I had about 7, 8 years where I didn't play ice hockey at all. And it's funny because when you play roller and you got 4 or 5 guys, it's 4-on-4 in roller, you play 5 guys and it's not fun. Don't get me wrong, but it's not terrible because you can coast a ton in roller. So it's just like, okay, I'll lay back and let my 3 guys go and I'll play defense. Next shift, I'll carry it up. I'll let my other defenseman take a rest. And that's just kind of how it goes. You don't really get to do that in ice hockey. So you've always got to be moving your feet. And, so when you've got 8 skaters out there, and for me, I was trying to find any way I could to give the other 7 guys a boost. So I was like, guys, Tell you what, I'm going to play the last half of the game. I'm literally going to play from the half of the second period to the end of the game. I will lay back. You guys just go play offense. And that really didn't do much because we were all just so damn exhausted.
Yeah. And you gave up on it midway through the third because of it.
I wouldn't say I gave up. I had a fumble because I was so tired. Yes,
Right.
I had the puck behind the net. And I had plenty of time to get rid of it. And I will admit, I thought it was offside, which is part of the reason. Being tired, your brain isn't really working the whole way that it could. And I totally just let a guy come in, take the puck from me, wrap it in front and score. And Bill was like, "Come on, man." I was like, "I'm sorry, man. I'm so fucking tired."
That game got to me a little bit, but not because of the guys on the ice. It was those that didn't show.
Yes.
But
And especially the people that bailed last minute too. Because we knew we were going to be, we actually going into the locker room, like when I was walking into the locker room, we had 11 people and we had 3 guys bail very last, well, actually 2 bail and 1 completely forget about the game. And so we had 3 people not even show up. That's
another
a whole
thing
line,
that happens
folks.
with beer league hockey.
Yes. And so it was very brutal having to play in that game. We lost that one 9-0. It was ugly, ugly, ugly. But like you said, even with my gaffe in the third period, I wasn't even really mad at myself. I was just kind of like, God, if we just had 1 or 2 more people, because that was a beatable team too. That's the most frustrating thing. So anyway, well, let's move on. But again, Bill, congratulations on the big win. I've been wanting to get you that for a while, so I was really happy to see that. And that's why I was happy to get the full game video that I will share with you after the show because
awesome.
Very cool. Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
I definitely will show it off.
Yes. Good. Well, that one save especially was very impressive.
Yeah.
Official beers of episode number 543. You can follow each of us on the Untapped app. Bill is at Billy Bluno 33. I am at Ponder 94. Bill, go ahead and lead us off. What are you drinking tonight?
Getting rid of some Christmas beers. So I have the Grandfather. Can't really see it. There you go.
Nice.
It's a barrel-aged, old-fashioned inspired beer from, I think this is a 2023 offering from Founders. If it's, the label says if you like craft cocktail inspired beers, you'll love this one. And it's true. Cranberry twist on an old-fashioned, really good. Last one in my fridge, so thought I'd have it tonight and not save it for next year.
There you go. Very nice. In the comments, we've got Baked Beaver chiming in. PBR per usual for the win. Yes, PBR, always a good one. For me, I am drinking one of my, I think I've got 3 left, one of my Fat Elvises. This is, again, just the beautiful new can art. I have not seen it in stores for about a month, so I do think this was probably part of the last batch. Happy to be enjoying that tonight out of my butterbeer mug that my wife got in Universal. Yeah, Universal.
Very nice.
Yep.
I still have a few of those that you bought me, so I keep forgetting them because they're in my upstairs beer fridge.
Is this for real? Do you see Matt Harris's comment here?
Yeah.
Had a fun story a few days ago. Went to a local Goodwill, and he's in Tucson, correct? Found a book, 100 Greatest St. Louis Sports Moments. Inside it was an envelope with $1,000. No joking, no sarcasm. Crazy ass day. That is, wow. Good for you. I used to Goodwill shop all the time in high school and college, and I always had that dream where I'm like, I'm going to be looking through DVDs or books or something, and I'm going to find like a grand in cash or a blank check or something. And obviously never happened for me, but hey, I'm glad it was able to happen for you, Matt Harris.
Yeah, I honestly I think that he Biff Tannen'd himself there.
Yes,
future Biff Tannen left that for him. Future Matt Harris, Biff Tannen left that for him.
Oh, that's very nice. Yes. I hear he hates manure. So
Very true.
And then he also adds, felt like fate was literally wearing my Blues jacket. LMAO. Yeah, I'm imagining that site in Tucson. You buying 100 greatest St. Louis sports moments with a Blues jacket and going to the Goodwill counter and them just being like, look at this fool. Loves St. Louis for some reason, says the fool behind the counter at Tucson Goodwill. All right.
And then, of course, you took that grand and bet it all on, the Blues to win the Stanley Cup this year.
And Robbie Fabry to score 50 goals next season. All right, well, let's get into some prospect talk. The Blues prospects both took home medals in the 2026 IIHF World Junior Championships. The final game, Sweden won this one 4-2. It was Sweden's third ever gold medal at the World Juniors, with the two previous coming in 1981 and 2012. It was their fifth overall medal in the last 9 years. In defeat, the Czechs won a medal for the fourth year running. However, their last gold has not come since 2001. So just a reminder, a refresher, Adam Jiricek was on the silver medal winning Team Czechia. He had 7 games played, 5 goals and 1 assist, 2 of those being game winners. He was also named the best defenseman by the IIHF Directorate.
Yes.
I had to repeat that like 8 times in the Let's Go Blues Minute this morning.
The Directorate from Traverse City.
From Traverse City, where they give out internships.
Yes. Yes.
And then Love Harenstam was the goalie for the gold medal winning Team Sweden. He went 27 saves on 29 shots in the gold medal game. He was 6-0 in the tournament, 911 save percentage, 243 goals against average. He was also named the best goalkeeper unanimously by the Directorate and the WJC media. So a very nice show. We had 7 skaters last year in the in the tournament, and a lot of them were victorious. So Jimmy Snuggerud and Colin Ralph both won gold, which was nice. But only having 2 this year, but both players very high accolades, best defenseman and best goalkeeper, both in the gold medal game, and both played very, very well in this tournament. I'm not sure how much of it you saw, Bill, but I did see both players play a couple games, and I did catch a lot of the gold medal game. And they were elite among the elite, which is saying a lot.
Yeah, Jiricek looked like a man among boys. Right. Yeah. And he is, he's the overaged, guy at this tournament, but, he looks legit. He looks like he should probably be pushing for a roster spot on the Blues next year, assuming, there's some roster turnover with Justin Falk or somebody else leaving. But he looked great. He drove the play, was also out there for a lot of PKs. He looked awesome. And then Harenstam, man, 6-0, 243 goals against, 911 save percentage in a short tournament. Those are elite numbers. Mm-hmm. Man, how good does it feel to have tournament great goalies, right?
Yep.
We've got Binner and we've got this kid in the system. So, probably, Binner will be, not on this team by the time Harenstam's ready, but looking forward to seeing him here in a couple of years.
Yep, I agree. And we got from Matt Harris, Jiricek was always involved when he was on, always in good positions, getting a stick in, etc. Excited for him. I was very impressed by him. And Harenstam too. You mentioned, tournament ready goalies. And I did see someone say, oh, his save percentage seems pretty low. And I'm like, this is best of the best. This isn't, there's no throwaway games here in tournament play at all. This is literally the best every country has to offer at that age group. And he stood out among the other goalies. There was some really good goaltending in this tournament, but it was clear as day, especially, you look at that record, 6-0, just goes to show that he can show up in big games and play well. And he he looked great in that gold medal game. Jiricek actually beat him twice in that gold medal game. He hit the post. I want to say it was 1-0 Sweden when he hit the post. And it was like, that's a 1-1 game. That's a completely different game. And then he scored later when Sweden already had a, was it a 3-0 lead?
They were up 3-0. That's when they went up 3-0. I decided I was going to bed because I was still a little tired from the night before, the 1 o'clock getting home and going to bed thing. So, Jiricek, was just, like, who said it? Matt Harris, always involved, always in good positions. That every time he was out there, he was noticeable. And Bake Beaver, they were on the NHL Network. So, unfortunately, unless you're, pirating, got to pay some good money to get access to that. You got to pay your cable subscription or DirecTV subscription, or I guess Fubo carries it. But it's I watched several games this year. I was shocked when I saw that the Finns knocked out the US, and shocked that Czechia beat Canada. So
I saw a very interesting post, and this kind of gets into what our friend Ace here says. If Carbonneau was on Team Canada, do you think they have a different fate? I saw an interesting post today about Hockey Canada, basically. Apparently, so quick USA St. Louis story here. We wanted to rent some ice time for our team. And when I used to do this, where every year I would just buy ice time for the team, I'd make it free for everyone, and I just say, I'll just pay for it. I'll eat the cost. Just let's get out there and skate before the season starts. That was when ice time, and I say this like an old man, but this was just like 2 or 3 years ago. Ice time, at some places would be $180, $200. The cheapest we found it was where we played at, $340 for an hour. We almost did Centene. They wanted $445 for 1 hour. And I'm just like, who can afford this? Like, this is insane. And so that relays back to your question, Ace, that basically, apparently they're saying in Canada especially that hockey has very much become a rich boy sport. Now, it always has been. You've always had to have money to play hockey. This isn't basketball where you can just go find a court and just go play for hours on end. Like in hockey, you got to pay for the equipment. You got to pay for the ice time. You got to pay for the sticks, everything. Coaches need salaries because it's such a demanding thing to do. And so hockey very much in Canada has become a rich boy sport. So a lot of people are saying the reason Canada has not been faring well in these tournaments is because you've just got the rich kids that are joining and saying, oh yeah, I'm good. I'm going to play. I'm going to buy all the best equipment. Whereas your best athletes aren't playing hockey anymore because they can't afford it. So, that takes away the heart, the desire. Now, this was coming from a Canadian. I don't know. This is just speculation from what I've heard. But it's kind of crazy to think about. And when I hear about that, I think about it down here in St. Louis, and it's kind of similar. I got a friend that has a kid that wants to play, but he's like, I seriously cannot. They want $1,600 up front for his program. Because that pays for everything, the ice time, the practice, the games, the jerseys, the equipment he might need. And it's like, I don't have $1,600 just available, I can't do that. And a lot of families can't.
No, it's always been that way, right? My parents, God, they sacrificed way too much for me to be able to play when I did. But money always gets you access to the better teams, right? And that, I think, has probably become a contagion in Canada and has tanked their system, right? When was the last time you heard about a kid on the World Juniors team from the wrong side of the tracks, right? Yep. You're probably going back to, I can't
even think of anyone right now.
Mid 2000s. A couple of those guys from Canada. I'm blanking on. blanking
Yeah.
on him, right? It's who is it? The Mike Comrie. Doesn't his dad like owns the Keg
Yeah.
or what of the Brick or one of those massive Canadian establishments, right?
Yep.
It's
Well, and it's like the good old farm boys, even like Brian Sutter back in the day. He was a farm boy, grew up playing at the farm rink and was good. And they ended up shipping him off when he was 16, 17, I think, to go live with a billet family. But like that's just not really a thing anymore. Like it's all these rich kids that can afford the equipment, afford the ice time, and you're just not getting those little farm boys coming in and playing hockey. And it's unfortunate. I think we're seeing for the Canadiens, we're seeing the drawback from it now that these, and I don't want to completely say anything negative about these kids in Canada. Again, this is what I'm hearing from Canadian sources. But it makes sense. Again, seeing the rising costs of hockey, even down here in St. Louis, it's astronomical compared to what it used to be, and it was expensive when we were kids. So, let's see. Oh, and then Big Beaver in the chat here. Think about how quickly skate size changes. Breaking into hockey is the hardest sport of all sports. Okay. Real quick, Bill, I might have told you this off air, but I don't think I ever did tell this on the show because basically I was under contract and couldn't tell this story. I would say I'm probably okay now. So when I worked at Total Hockey back in the day, for those who don't know, I used to work as a copywriter for Total Hockey, and we had this event it was just we called it the Total Summit. It was basically just every store manager in the entire because we were all around North America. They all came into St. Louis. We all had this big event. We had guest speakers. Alex Steen was on the team then. He came and spoke with us. And then we had a very special guest in Brett Hall showed up. And Brett, I'm not going to say for sure, but let's just say he did not seem right of mind. Might have had a couple drinks before he came in to speak with us.
No.
And he apparently, so apparently he had pitched this to Total Hockey many times, my owner, the owner of the company, and he was like, Brett, how do we make money off this? It's a good idea, but it's not a money-making idea. So he just comes up and he starts saying, hey, everybody, Brett Hall, blah, 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 blah. And then he goes off into, so I had this idea for Total Hockey. And it's like, okay, you're not here to pitch the whole company ideas, Brett. But it's Brett Hall. No one's going to take the microphone away from him. So he's like, what if we had a situation where parents come in, they pay a flat rate, 5-year-old walks in, they pay $500, let's say. And then we just size them and we get them different equipment every time they age up. And so they can just trade in their old skates and then they get new skates. And then we trade those in and they get newer skates. And every time they come in, they get an equipment upgrade. And that's just an idea I had. And I think it would really work for you guys. And we're all sitting there like, that is really hard to monetize, Brett.
That sounds like socialism.
It's impossible to monetize, Mr. Hall. But he's right. I mean, like I said, it's a great idea. It's just companies aren't going to do that because they're not going to make money off it.
Right. Yeah. This weekend, I was perusing the hockey goalie Reddit, as I very often do, and saw somebody post that they have an 11-year-old that's already grown 2 sizes, and they bought them a brand new set of true full gear. And they're like, yeah, he'll probably outgrow it by the end of the season, but we're thinking we can get at least one more year out of it. Like that if they have the wealth to afford that, right? That's really the problem, for the majority of hockey players, right? They aren't going to be able to keep upgrading, right? I mean, I still don't have a full set of matching pads, but I splurged a little bit when I bought all the equipment to get back into it because I never had anything good when I was growing up. Like, the best piece of equipment I ever bought was a Patrick Waugh Furlan blocker. And I always used hand-me-down pads, and nothing was brand new except my Furlan blocker. And so, even what I have now, they're used Binnington pads. I love them. They're great, but come on. It's always been that way. And I think Canada probably has built a system that just, people are able to push other people out with money.
Yep, that is true. Yeah, I mean, and you mentioned the skates. When I had my foot issue a couple of years ago, they were suggesting to me to try different skates, and one of them, actually, one of my physical therapists even went the length and like looked up like, oh, have you heard of these true skates? And I'm like, I started laughing, and I'm like, yeah. And she's like, they actually get custom sizes for your feet. Have you looked into that? And I'm like, you should look up the price of what that costs. And she did. She goes, oh, never mind. I'm like, yeah, because it's like $1,400 for a pair of custom true skates, which, hey, they're custom. I get it. But it's like, who is in the right mind if you're not going to be a professional hockey player or in the juniors, who is spending that kind of money? Absolutely not. No way. All right. Well, let's poor goalies saying a thing.
Yeah,
that's very true.
Allegations resurface. I stole Binnington's pads and caused him to have a poor season.
Yep, Trees says that, and yeah, way to go, Bill. You stole his pads. We're gonna have Binnington coming on the show asking for his pads back. So there you go.
I think he's looking pretty good at him right now.
Yeah, he looked real good, which we'll get into. It's a great chance for us to take a quick break. We will be right back after this commercial break from our amazing sponsor and whatever else we got in the commercial now. I don't even know.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
What are you doing? Have you not subscribed to the Let's Go Blues Minute yet? Do it wherever you get podcasts. It provides a daily look into the St. Louis Blues, filling the gap between Let's Go Blues radio shows. Go to Spotify, go to Apple Podcasts, go to Friendster. I don't care. Just subscribe and get fresh blues content daily. Do it. Like now.
Every hockey team needs that clutch player who knows when to pass, when to shoot, and when to take charge. In real estate, that superstar is Mike Burgoyne of Real Brokerage Realty. Whether you're buying your first home or selling your current one, Mike skates circles around the competition with his knowledge, hustle, and down-to-earth approach. And here's the real zone ability. If you're a first responder, veteran, doctor, nurse, teacher, or even just a loyal Let's Go Blues radio listener, you'll score special rates when you work with Mike. Got questions? Fire them at him. He'll answer quicker than Bill Day's glove hand. Obstacles in your way? He'll plow through them harder than I would in a goalmouth scramble. And when it comes time to close, he'll put it in the back of the net faster than a Kirk Price shot from the slot. So don't just settle for an ordinary realtor. Get the MVP on your side. Visit strikewithmike.com or email him at mike@strikewithmike.com today. Mike Burgoyne, the real estate teammate you can always count on.
Is your business wanting to advertise but not wanting to break the bank? Are you wanting to target 20 to 60-somethings for your product or service? We can help. The Let's Go Blues radio team is currently accepting new advertisers for our live shows and at our website, letsgoblues.com. Pricing starts at just $10 per month. Go to letsgoblues.com/advertising to learn more.
And now, back to Let's Go Blues Radio, the longest running St. Louis Blues podcast with Price, Ponder, and Day.
Well, the Blues have not played since Saturday, but they did make some headlines the other day. They re-signed Alexei Toropchenko to a 2-year, $2.5 million extension. That is a $1.25 million average annual value on the deal. He's dressed in 27 games for the Blues this season, recording 5 points, including 2 goals and 17 penalty minutes. He was originally a 4th-round pick, 113th overall in 2017 for the Blues, and this is coming off a pretty big weekend for him. He had 3 of his 5 points on the season against Vegas and Montreal. Scored was it 1 goal and 2 assists, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, he is playing some of the most direct hockey I've seen him play. The in the Montreal game, the dump and chase where he beat Fowler and Dobson, and then Sammy Blake came over and yelled at him for taking a spot on the team.
Yeah.
It was great. Loved it.
Big Beaver says Torp earns it every game. Yeah, I will say he had that little stretch last year where I don't think he scored a point for like 25 games or something ridiculous. And I think you could tell that it was kind of bothering him. He just was not the same player. But then he ended up scoring. I remember he scored. I don't remember which game that was, but the Blues got blown out and he scored in the blowout. And it was a nice like coast to coast goal. And after that, he was himself again. And I just thought, man, like he's back, and he played very well down the stretch last year. Once he came back from his first injury this year that he had to start the season, I thought he played very well. And he's played now better again since he came back from this other oddball injury he had. So yeah, and then comment of the show, or as we call him, Matt Harris. Torpedo plays the style of hockey that Monty wants, earned the extension. Not my favorite Blue, but he's a guy you want. Yeah, he's one of those guys, like kind of like a Nathan Walker. Like, he's not going to be a game breaker for you, but you put him out there on the forecheck, or even sometimes later in games just to keep the puck hemmed in, and then you switch him out and you put in your first line. Like, he's great at that too. Obviously, a very good forechecker, a great penalty killer, and for that price tag. Now, again, we've said this about fourth liners in the past. That price tag is definitely fine. I have no problem with that, but it's also the extension length. Unfortunately, a lot of fourth liners, they just don't have those super long careers. And I think they know that. So I'm sure Toropchenko would have loved a 4 or 5 year deal, but I just don't think you're ever going to see a guy like him sign a deal like that. And I also think part of it was probably Armstrong saying, hey, in case there's a situation that Steen wants to rebuild this when he's doing this on his own, he's not shadowing me. I don't want to sign any more long-term deals. I just think this is a good team-friendly and player-friendly deal for both sides.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Thinking about the fourth line players that this team has had, it feels like he is going to be like Sammy Blais on that 2019 team, right? That plays those, or Pat Maroon, right? Plays the heavy board minutes, but can also change a game by playing direct north hockey, getting in on the forecheck, doing damage, and just a little bit more skill, and we'd probably make a lot more Val Nichushkin type, the same frame. But yeah, he's for the money. I love this deal.
Yep. I just think his value is there. And I want to ask Ace here. He says, I thought 2.5 was too much. I thought it was high. So what would have been an acceptable deal to you? He's way too nice to drop the gloves. He adds too. So for you, I mean, what would have been a good deal for you? 2 years, $2 million. Should he be making less than that? Because I think, especially with kind of, I hate to use the term inflation, but it is, players are starting to make more money again. I think 1.25 is right where he belongs personally. But if you disagree, let us know.
Yeah, that is not overpayment for a fourth liner of his ability.
Yep.
At this
point,
can
play on your third line in a pinch, like not a.
Yeah, I mean, penalty killing, right? He was out there to kill the penalty with Robert Thomas when, well, we'll talk about that goal, but he was on the give and go with Thomas and didn't look out of place. They look great together. So he's more than just a fourth line guy.
Yep. And he said closer to Nathan Walker's deal. I'm trying to look up his exact deal right now. Oh, there it is. Okay, so Walker's making $775 per year for 3 years. I think he's a little more valuable than that personally. I think Walker. I don't think Walker brings as much to the table in terms of ability. I think Walker's presence is what keeps him in the NHL. As weird as that sounds, I think Toropchenko's skill is a little higher than Walker's. Plus, his size alone makes him a force to be reckoned with in the offensive zone and really even on the defensive zone.
And it takes that much more to, money to pay Toropchenko to eat because the size difference.
Yes, much bigger boy. Oh, and here we go. It looks like Ace actually kind of agrees. He says, "Oh, my bad. I thought it was 2.5 a year." No,
Nope.
it is not. It's 1.25. That's why I'm more than okay with that.
I think Cusimano might have said a $5 million deal on the TV today, but don't listen to that man about hockey.
Only high school sports. That's it.
And not high school hockey.
No, high school basketball specifically.
Yes.
All right. Philip Broberg is actually named to Team Sweden. So he was not on the Four Nations face-off roster. He is for the Olympics. He joins Jordan Binnington and Colton Parayko, who, of course, will be playing for Canada. Sweden will open the tournament play against Italy on February 11th at 2:10 local time. That's here in St. Louis. He's recorded 13 points, including 11 assists and 4 penalty minutes in 41 games. He actually, I didn't know this, Bill, probably just because he wasn't on my radar when he was still an Edmonton prospect. He actually captained Sweden at the 2021 Under-20 WJCs. I did not know that. So clearly he's already got a little bit of clout with some of these players because he was their captain. And then in 2020, he appeared in 7 games, helping Sweden capture the bronze medal. In 2019, he guided Sweden to a gold medal at the Under-18 WJCs, and he earned honors as the tournament's best defenseman and a spot on the WJC All-Star team. Shades of Adam Jiricek. So very happy for Broberg. We've been saying it this year, the last couple weeks, maybe even months at this point. He's the number one defenseman, I think, for the Blues at this point. And I think he's going to be getting a very nice payday, if not this season, in the offseason. But looks very good for the Blues and a very good pick for Team Sweden.
Yeah, it's totally deserving of it. His just the stroke of genius for Armstrong to have been able to pick both him and Holloway out of Edmonton and them not match. I still scratch my head to this day that it was possible. And the sky's the limit for this guy. I think he's bona fide number one NHL defenseman. A couple of years from now, maybe we talk Norris. It's a long way off, but it's a possibility with this guy.
You never know. He's solid. So I do want to. So we had somebody say Walker signed higher. I think isn't Walker's new deal $1 million a year? Close. I was wrong. I'm sorry. I was looking at his current contract. His next contract kicks in next year. He's making 2 years $1.78 million. So a little bit less than $1 million a year. Cap hit is $888,000. So he is getting a little pay bump, but no, not as much as Toropchenko was making. Divide by 0. A stroke of incompetence out of Edmonton. Who is surprised? I don't think anybody is. So yeah, not surprised at all. All right. Well, speaking of Olympics, Team USA announced their selections for the 2026 Winter Games. Headlining those, obviously, we've got guys like Austin Matthews, Dylan Larkin, Charlie McAvoy, Kyle Connor, Jack Eichel. But in terms of St. Louisans, we have 3, Clayton Keller and the Tkachuk boys, both Brady and Matthew, of course, make the team. Of course, they were all on the Four Nations roster as well. It's always more interesting with hockey, well, really any kind of Olympics or all-star teams, not to talk about who made it, but who was left off. And for me, talking about a stroke of incompetence, I think Bill Guerin butchered some of these picks. And butchered's a strong word, and I mean it. Jason Robertson has scored more goals in the last calendar year than any other U.S. player, yet somehow he's not on this roster. Makes 0 sense. And Bill, there's 2 I know that you want to mention. But for me, Jason Robertson is the biggest omission. And of course, the question then becomes, well, if you put him on, who do you take off? Well, for me, I know you want to have your penalty killers out there, Vincent Trocheck, Brock Nelson, but to me, you got to make room for Jason Robertson. One of those guys slides off, and you put Robertson in there, no question. But Bill, I don't know if you feel free to comment on Robertson, but there's two I know we definitely agree on outside of Robertson.
Yeah. Of course, it's going to be the two Habs, right? Cole Caulfield and Lane Hudson. I mean, those two guys are superstars in the offing, right? That watching Lane Hudson play in person this weekend, like the guy, he's tiny, but his skating and his ability to make plays that just don't seem there to anybody else, just amazing. The creativity is going to be missed, probably because Bill Guerin wants a Bill Guerin style of hockey team. We're going to go in and kick the shit out of the Canadiens, and it's not going to. I don't think it's going to be that kind of tournament. Cole Caulfield, right? The guy is just, he's an impact player. Who do you take off, out of the top, right? You're not going to remove a Jack Eichel or anybody, but I think the two guys that you mentioned, Trocheck and Brock Nelson, I was shocked at that, right? His inclusion, I don't think if he's still playing for the Islanders, he gets a nod, right? Guerin is watching a lot of the Avs right now, and I that one was the biggest head scratcher to me.
I will admit with you, Bill, as good, he's not having a bad season, I'm not going to lie, but when I saw his name on there, I was like, oh yeah, he's still in the NHL.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, and Jason Robertson also is, and playing ridiculous.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. A couple of the names on here, Adam Fox was just put on LTIR today by the Rangers. So just given his health issues, I thought I actually was thinking that maybe that's why Hudson you would consider to be a shoe-in, but no. Yeah, I don't get it.
And looking at the defense, Brock Faber, okay. Noah Hannafin, okay. Quinn Hughes, yes. Seth Jones, okay. He's been on some good teams. I get it. Charlie McAvoy, yes. And all these guys are deserving. I'm not going to say they're not. All the defensemen they picked are deserving. Jake Sanderson, Jacob Slavin, and Zach Werenski. But to me, Lane Hudson is like you just said, the shoe-in. Jake Sanderson, heck of a defenseman, does a great job playing for the Senators. Give me Lane Hudson all day over Jake Sanderson. That makes zero sense to me.
The only sense that makes to me is that Sanderson was on the Four Nations squad, right? And he was impactful. So he showed he could do it. But come on, right? Brock Faber is good, right? But they didn't think he was everything because they brought in Quinn Hughes, right?
Yep.
I don't know.
And so we talked about it, and Bill, I don't remember if it was on the show or not, but I remember before the season started, I told you, somebody asked Guerin, you excited to see Lane Hudson play for Team USA or something like that in the Olympics? And Guerin said, I don't know if he's ready. And I remember even then thinking, are you kidding me? Did you see him play last year? Like, how can you say he's not ready? The kid is lighting up the scoreboard every game against the best players in the world already. Why would he not be ready for the Olympic stage?
Yeah, it's the the old school way of thinking, right? You got to earn it. I don't have a spot on my bottom, my bottom three or bottom six defensemen for this guy. No, he should probably be in your top pairing.
He should have been one of the first picks to me. And I agree with you on Caulfield too, 100%. That makes no sense. That dude's nothing but a playmaker. Well, and it goes back to the Four Nations thing. I know I've harped on this multiple times. Championship game against Canada, they sit Kyle Connor, one of your best pure goal scorers, and you sit him in the championship. like, what are you doing, USA Hockey? I mean, some of the decisions they make are laughable, and this is another one. I mean, to me, again, Jason Robertson, number 1. Number 2, it's Lane Hudson. Number 3, Cole Caulfield. Those were all 3 guys that if you would have asked me, Jeff, who are your top 10 picks to make Team USA before they announced this, I guarantee all 3 of those names would have been on there. I would have said at some point in the top 10 listing, I would have said all 3 of them, and none of them made the roster.
Yeah, just
doesn't make sense.
None whatsoever.
Nope. Well, let's get to talking about some St. Louis Blues games. Bill, do we want to talk about Wednesday last week?
No. There was actually a request in the comments not to talk about it. I think we can honor that request because both of us turned it off before the first period was over.
Yes. So I will tell the story that I told you. So for those that watched our pregame show last week before that game, it was a night of Stranger Things, and my wife was already giving me trouble that I was doing a show and I wasn't ready to watch Stranger Things right when it came live at 7:00. And Bill, actually, we were still talking, and she came down and was like, "Are you done yet?" And I'm like, "Jesus, yes." So I had the game on over my left shoulder here. And the game had started, and it was actually before we even went off the air. Colorado scored the first goal. And if you listened to that show, you heard me go, "Are you freaking kidding me? Like, we haven't even gone off the air yet." And then they scored the second goal that got turned back, which I was happy with. I was like, okay, 1-0. Closed up shop down here. I go upstairs. I grab a snack. I grab a soda or a beer or whatever I was drinking that night. New Year's, I was having a beer. And I went to the bathroom, came back, pulled up the laptop, pulled up the game, 4-0 Habs.
Mm-hmm.
That was maybe 6 minutes, and it was 4-0, and it was 1-0 when I came upstairs. And I literally right away just turned it off, closed the laptop, and I'm like, nope, let's watch Stranger Things.
Yeah, I can't remember what I wound up watching. But yeah, it was definitely better than that game. So Let's not talk about it.
Only thing I'll say, from what I saw, I did not watch the whole game, but I did see the goals and I saw some saves. I thought Jordan Binnington played very well. And I've not said that about him this year. I think he has not played as well as he could, but a lot of those goals I do not put on him. So for those people saying Binnington's cooked, he's done, why are we still playing him? I do not fault him for that game at all. The Blues looked, for the longest time in that game, almost half the game, the Avalanche had more goals than the Blues had shots.
Yeah.
So
right. That was the decision point for me when I looked down and saw they have 5 goals. We have 5 shots.
Yep.
Not worth it. Not worth it.
Nope.
Nothing's happening in this game. Shocked that we got a goal.
Yep. I was too. Very shocked. But let's move on. Like we said, let's talk about some good news. Blues actually went 2-0 over the weekend, back-to-back afternoon games. First on Friday, they beat the Vegas Golden Knights 4-3. Braden Shen scored the game winner with just 1:33 remaining on the clock. Did you hear the story about his wife giving birth?
Well, I heard all about the name of the baby because I watched the damn broadcast, and Joey Vitale just had
Curbs.
Oh my God, that whole thing. God,
Yep.
don't get me started. There were a couple of threads in Reddit about it, and yeah,
oh my word, yeah, Reddit was blowing up,
unlistenable.
Reddit was blowing up this weekend about the broadcast, which I will say, they are unlistenable on the radio. I don't hate them on the broadcast, TV broadcast. I could do less. I could deal with less of Vitale's bread making stories and all that. Like you could take some of that out, but they are unlistenable on the radio. The play calling, and I'm sorry, like I love Curbs, friend of the show, but like there's times where he won't say anything for a good 15 seconds. And on TV, that's fine. But on the radio,
right,
we don't know what's going on.
Right.
So
and he used to be one of the better ones on the radio.
Yep.
Because he understood that.
Yep. And it just feels like that has completely gone out the window. It is catering to TV only, which, again, I get to a certain extent, but I mean, man, come on. You're still calling radio games. This is, I've only listened for a total of about maybe 15 minutes on the radio, and it's all been terrible. And I'm like, oh. So anyway, we said we're going to talk positive, right? So
Yes.
Shen, the story of his baby being born. So apparently at the second intermission of the Avalanche game, keep in mind what happened in that game. He actually called his wife, and she said, "Hey, I'm going into labor." And he's like, "Oh shoot, let me get my pads off, and I'll take a flight, and I'll be home soon." And she said, "No, go ahead and play the third period." What an awesome wife, by the way. Holy cow. Go earn that paycheck, honey. So he played, got home. I think he said it like 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. St. Louis time. And baby was born, I think, at 5:30 in the morning. And he made it in time to see the baby born. Sure, he got no sleep that first night, which was brutal. But luckily, they had a day off there where I'm sure he spent the day with obviously the family and hopefully getting some rest. And then first game gets the game winner after his kid's born. So very exciting for Braden Shen, and definitely a funny story to hear the wife telling him, "I'm in labor, but it's okay, honey." Like, you can always tell when a woman has already had a kid.
Right. If it's the first kid, he's not on the trip.
Yes. But this was what, their second or third? And yeah, it's like,
third,
oh yeah, I'm
first,
fine. Don't worry
first
about it.
girl, right?
I'm actually driving myself to the hospital right now. Don't worry. I'm controlling my breathing. I'm good.
I'm gonna stop at Hardee's.
Yeah, and you know, it's funny here. Yeah, D Brown, I'm gonna give you a comment of the show here. Still can't get my audio to work, so I'm gonna have to work on that. But D Brown says Shen would have happily left that Avs game. Yes, I think we all would have.
No, really. I'm okay. I'm coming home.
Yeah, no, please let me come home. Call Montgomery. Tell him I need to come home. All right. Toropchenko and Oscar Sundqvist each get a goal and an assist each. Pavel Buchnevich and Matthew Joseph each had 2 assists in this game. Joel Hofer makes 21 saves on 24 shots. Worth noting that Jordan Kyrou was awarded a penalty shot at 3:44 of the first period, but was denied with a glove save by Carter Hart, which I don't want to talk about. But we actually watched part of this game together, Bill.
We did. We had a nice mandate to discuss some podcast business. And
Yes.
took in the first period at Ice and Fuel in Kirkwood. So
yes, very nice spot, by the way.
yeah.
If you've not checked that out.
Yeah, and was shocked when Torpo tied the game up. It felt like it was going to go like another Avalanche game. But yeah, it's I watched the first period with you, and I don't know. I guess it was later that night. Finally, like 8 o'clock that night, that I got to finish the end of it. But beautiful game.
Yeah, I actually was able to, because we left right when the period ended, and I think I made it back home with about 18 minutes left in the second. So you obviously can't make that trip that quick. You do not live that close to Kirkwood.
Nope.
But,
and
yeah, that was
I had an appointment to get to. So I don't think I got home until like it was after 6.
Wow.
After my appointment, all that. So
well, yes, it was a very good game for the Blues. Like you said, kind of had that feel early on, like, oh boy, here we go again. But the Golden Knights have been struggling. They had lost, I think, 7 of their past 8 going into this game, and it just continued to derail for them. And I gotta say, couldn't happen to a better person than Carter Hart.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And at least Dylan Dubé wasn't called up, because what would happen if he had the penalty shot against Carter Hart? Like, would the world end or something?
I think the rink just would have exploded.
Yeah. This isn't supposed to be happening.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, big win for the Blues. Joel Hofer plays well in that one. Saturday, they take the rink again. They play the Montreal Canadiens, Bill's second favorite team, and they took this one 2-0. Jordan Binnington makes 26 saves, his first shutout of the season, 19th of his career. He's now within one of tying Jaroslav Halak for third on the franchise's all-time list. They also ended Montreal's point streak at 7 games. You mentioned it earlier, the shorthanded goal by Robert Thomas, one of my favorite plays of the year. And again, between him and Toropchenko, which again goes to show Toropchenko does have some hands in front of the net.
Right. And I mean that play, right? I meant to tell you, not that you would have been able to get it worked out with your audio issues, but we really needed the dirty fucking Daggles boys for that, because oh my god, that sequence, right? Thomas pulls it off of the guy that we just drooled all over, Lane Hudson, pulls it off of him at center ice, and then breaks Ivan Demidov's ankles with a nice dipsy-do, great backhand sauce between Hudson's legs.
Yep.
Over to Toropchenko, who throws it off the pad. Jacob Fowler had an amazing game. Like, that kid is so good. And we're not going to talk a lot about him, but he had an amazing game. And good first save, but Thomas follows up with a rebound. Nice little tuck just inside the post that was right in front of us. Like, oh man, I was immediately on my feet, blown away. Probably the best goal that I've seen since a couple years ago, back David Perron's second stint with the Blues when he went coast to coast against the Islanders. Just thing of beauty.
Yep. Yeah, that was. And Thomas had the presence of mind to just lay it along the ice. Don't shoot it over the net. I feel like a lot of players that in that situation, it's, I got to roof this in case the goalie slides over. But, sometimes it really is just like, dude, just pepper it back on net. Even if it's not that hard, do what you can to just get it back on net. And like I said, I think a lot of times we see guys overthink it and then shoot it over the net, hit the post, maybe shoot into a player's belly, whatever it is. And I just think Thomas' presence of mind, just send it back in front. At the very least, it might bounce off a skate. Maybe it goes right back to Toropchenko. So just a very, very smart play, and just love that. And the fact that it was a shorty too, I mean, just beautiful, because, the Canadiens have had a pretty good power play this season. So to see them give up the shorty was a nice display for the Blues.
Right. And, the Montreal had an extended 5-on-3 that, we'll mention a little bit later. Montreal looked great after. I would say the Blues were really good the first half of the first period, and Montreal started coming on and took over the game in the second period, and really controlled play. But the Thomas goal, I think, salted it. Binnington knew he had enough at that point. Last point I'll make on the Thomas goal is I didn't notice on the million times I watched the replay tonight whether or not he saw it happen, but Fowler lost his stick. And earlier this year, that is a shot that Thomas is going to put into the netting. Right. Yep. He's going to overplay it, but it was like, a finesse pool shot, just going to go just inside. And he pulled it off perfectly.
Tap it in, give it a little tappy, tap-a-roo. Yeah, that was perfect. So yes, the Blues 4 for 4 on the PK. You just mentioned it. They killed off a 5-on-3 advantage, a long advantage, minute 37 for Montreal. And I'll admit, that was in the second period. I'll admit, I thought, this is where, because at that point, I believe it was only 1-0 when they had to kill that off. I'm like, this is where we see the Blues implode. But they played very well. Binnington made the saves he needed to make. I wanted to pull up. Here it is. That's right. Montreal, they had 10 shots in the second period. There was a barrage they had middle of that period where the Blues could not get the puck out of the zone. And it was, so I was at the far end of the ice for you. And I just kept thinking, like, oh my God, I don't care if you have to shoot it over the glass, get it out of there. but Binnington stood strong. The Blues made a couple blocks. I think Torpchenko was out there and made a block or two. Just a very good team effort. And it has to make you wonder, are we going to start seeing this team turn the page now? We've not to get too deep into, the illusions that you tell yourself in hockey. But for me, it's like, this is one of those wins that you look back on and you're like, that was a team effort. We not only did Jordan Binnington play well, the Blues really helped him out a lot in this game too. That shutout was a team shutout, and it'd be really nice if this is something they can build on, especially facing a division rival tomorrow night.
Yeah, it's, the question early on from Ace in the comment. Who do you got in goal tomorrow night? My rule is always shut out, you go again. So Binner's got to go tomorrow night. I don't think there's a wrong answer. Hofer's been playing really well, probably been showing, that he's currently got the reins as the 1A, but I'd go Binner just based on the fact that he got the shutout. That's my personal rule.
Yeah, I mean, I love that rule. And you got to figure too, they've got back-to-backs coming up this weekend again. Friday with Utah, Saturday with Vegas. So Hofer's getting a game in no matter what this week. So, I know they just had a nice little 3-day break, including tonight. But yeah, for me, I agree with you. Put Binnington back in. And then, I mean, you could literally go either way over the weekend, either Hofer or Binnington on Friday, Hofer or Binnington on Saturday. But yeah, I agree. I think Binnington played well. You want him to get his confidence back up. And for Doug Armstrong, personally, I think he wants to get his confidence up because he picked him for his Olympic squad. But then just kind of selfishly for the Blues, like, you need Jordan Binnington down the stretch. Even if Joel Hofer is your starter going forward, you still want an A+ Jordan Binnington. And so any chance you can get for me to build that confidence back up more, I think you put him right back out there on Wednesday.
Yeah, I think you have to. Thinking about, D. Browns has, he thinks Armstrong's already made the decision on this year, and his musing about making the playoffs last year maybe being a bad thing is telling. There is still, I would say, a high chance that the Blues are listening on calls for Jordan Binnington, right? The early on in the season, the idea was he was going to go to Edmonton, but then you have the Jari Skinner swap. That's off, at this point. Team that I wouldn't be surprised goes all in and, makes a trade. I don't think they need to, but Montreal. Right. And Montreal got a first-hand taste of how good Jordan Binnington can be, not only in the Four Nations, but in this game. Right. And this was also, one of the first games that the Blues played against the Canadian team was the first game after the Canadian rosters announced. And there's a lot of gnashing of teeth that Binnington's on this roster because his statistics have been so bad. Right. And I think
another team
sent a message.
Another team to look out for, too, I think, is honestly Anaheim. They're in a wild card spot right now. Dostal is their starter, but I think they could use a good, solid veteran to either split time with him or even maybe take on the playoffs if they're going to make it that far, which I think they have a very good chance of doing. So, yeah, there's a couple teams that would be interesting to see, but I'll admit, selfishly, I don't think I'm ready for Binnington to go. He's still my favorite player. And I know you're a big fan too. You just got a new jersey of his. Are you wearing it tonight? Yeah, there you go. Yep. Very nice.
Yes, I am.
And I was wearing my Team Canada one the day they played for Jordan Binnington. So yeah, I mean, I'm still a big Binner fan. So there's some selfish reasons I don't want him to go yet, but I do understand if they were to, because and again, it's too early to tell on Harenstam. You're not going to bring him up and be your backup next season even, but you got a kid in the wings that might be a pretty dang good NHL goalie one day. At least it looks like it could be. So you go with Hofer, maybe you sign a short-term backup in the meantime. And then, maybe in 2 years, 3 years, Harenstam's ready to be your next Joel Hofer, be your backup. So
Yeah.
it's
Let's see what happens with the injury to Shesterkin in New York too, right?
that's
That
true.
he couldn't put any weight on
That
that.
looked bad.
Word is though that it wasn't worst case scenario, which was when I saw it, I said ACL.
Instantly what I said too.
Yeah. So there's another possibility there. I if the Blues trade Binnington now, they almost have to bring back a goalie. Montreal's got several that they could swap out, right? I would imagine they would give up on Dobish rather than Fowler. If you could steal Jacob Fowler for him, okay, I'm there. I'm there for that. If we have to say goodbye to Benner this year, not going to happen, right? That the kid looks way too good. If I'm Montreal, I put my money on him as the goalie this year. They're a little bit ahead of schedule, and I think you can take that risk with him this year. So I would stick with that.
I'm sorry, I was giggling because I just thought, I'm like, well, let's see if New York wanted him, because I'm like, man, that would probably be a good spot for Benner. I think he would enjoy the spotlight. I'm like, who would you get in return as a backup? But I thought, Jonathan Quick.
No, he's Quick's gonna, he's gotta, be the guy for the short term.
For the short term, maybe he can do it, but man, they got to hope Shesterkin's going to be ready, or they need to go out and make a trade because he's not going to be able to hold down the fort all season.
Yeah, I saw some speculation that a couple of guys they could look at. Laurent Brossoit, coming off double hip surgery, might be ready to go as a long-term backup situation, or Alex Lyon if Buffalo doesn't think they're actually going to make it this year. They got Colton Ellis. If he's,
I was going to say they could maybe make a big trade with Colton Ellis and get something nice in return. Couple options there. Yeah, you never know. Reinhard Divas is available, so maybe the 2-pad stack comes back. Who knows?
Curtis Sanford, who looks way too much like Stephen Miller these days.
Oh no, friend of the show, Curtis Sanford. How dare you?
Could come off the bench for Toronto's coaching staff. No, it's the goalie market really got interesting last night, I think, with the Shesterkin injury. So
yeah, we'll see. I hope for his sake, because he's one of my favorite goalies in the league. I just love watching the athletic goalies, and Shesterkin is just nobody beats him right now. He's so good and so much fun to watch. So I do hope he does come back soon.
We didn't even put it on the outline, but did you watch any of the outdoor game in Miami?
Oh God, no! I didn't watch any of it.
I did, and he looked like the better goalie over Bobrovsky in that game. I thought the Rangers looked really good, and Florida, was lucky to get on the board at all in that game. So
I'll admit, I was like, so the Blues game ended on was that the second, right?
Yep.
Blues game ended, and I was like, okay, I guess I'll turn that on. And I turned on the pregame, and I passed out on the couch watching the pregame. I woke up, and my wife had turned on something else, and I was like, hey, I was watching that. And she's like, were you? And I'm like, no, good call. And I never turned it back on. So I never even saw a second of it.
Yeah. I mean,
I did like the jerseys, though. They look good on the ice from what I saw.
Yeah, the jerseys and the equipment look great. But, if you've seen one Winter Classic, you've seen them all. The fact that they trucked in a shit ton of sand to make it look like they were actually playing on the beach rather than a baseball park, that was the kitsch this year. But yeah, I got too much panger in the very little bit that I watched that game. I was like, yeah, I don't miss that all that much anymore. So
yeah, I know that he is just, and especially now with Vitali and everyone's vitriol towards him, he is like the one that Blues fans are just pining over now. And I'm sorry, I was never a big Pang fan. I was never excited when he first came here. It just, and people talk about how great his commentary was. I don't think he ever really gave that great a commentary. I mean, sure, he had some good jokes. He was, kind of funny and enjoyable at times, but and yes, he provided commentary. He was, fine, but I wouldn't say he was great. He was no Joe Micheletti. He was no, I think Eddie Olczyk does a great job. He was no Olczyk for me. I just thought he was okay. And so, yeah, I mean, maybe he's an upgrade from Vitali. It's too early for me to tell, but for me, yeah, I was never a huge fan of Pang, although I met him. Very, very, very nice guy. Wonderful dude. Great ambassador for the sport. Just not my thing.
Yeah. He's got a certain shtick, and it wears after a while.
Yep. Agree. Well, Bill, last note on this game, and then we have something very important to go to. Parayko played his 766 rewind. That's 2 weeks in a row. Parayko played his 766th game, moving past Alexander Steen for 4th in St. Louis history. So Parayko continues to climb the ladder. I think that's something we'll be talking about for the next couple of years. I don't think he's going anywhere. Maybe when it's all said and done, this guy might be the all-time leader in games played for the Blues because obviously Doug Armstrong's a fan, and I have to think his former teammate and future boss, well, I guess still technically current boss, Alexander Steen, is also a fan.
Yeah. No, we were all kind of like, who is this guy when he came up at 18 and made the team and has just been, a number 2 or number 1 guy, basically, for the last six seasons. And, he is such a great story, coming out of, Alaska. And, like the Blues beat the Blackhawks to the pick, right? The Hawks had him on their list, but they thought they could get him in the 3rd round, and the Blues snuck in there and got him. That's one of my favorite parts of the Parayko lore.
That's one of those like alternate reality moments that I wish we could see what would have happened if the Blues wouldn't have taken him and the Blackhawks did. Like where would we be? Where would they be?
That alternate reality would also be the Blues taking Jonathan Taves over Eric Johnson in 2007 or whatever year that was.
2006.
Yeah, 2006 it was. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we weren't bad enough for Crosby or Ovechkin, but we were bad enough for Eric Johnson.
Yeah, wonderful.
That was like, that was probably the worst taste in my mouth until we won the Stanley Cup, right?
Yep. No, and I agree. I was never mad about them picking Johnson because he was the consensus number 1, but it was like literally Ovechkin, Crosby, Johnson. And then what was it, Stamkos the next year? Yeah,
it was Ovechkin. And that is right. And yeah, there were so many other players that could have gone there.
Yep.
And then the guy that really led us to the Cup was Petro, and he was a 4th overall.
Yep,
So,
of course.
Yeah.
Well, Bill, we've got a very important segment to get back to, something we haven't done in a while because the Blues have not deserved it, but they did this week. We are back, folks, with Bill's Save of the Week.
Yes, after long last, the Blues have taken it. We're gonna have a little bit of lead up here, so bear with me. There was a lot to go over in this game. I disagree with Natural Stat Trick. They had the Blues with only 6, or the Canadiens with only 6 high danger scoring chances. I had it at least at 7, probably 8, and I'm going to go over really quickly here. 6 contenders that didn't make the cut for Save of the Week in this Montreal game, right? Binner was so good from start to finish in this game, and what I noticed early on is he was good from the ice up, right? He was focused, he was locked in, and when I say from the ice up, Montreal came in with a plan. They were shooting low early. They were trying to go low early. Danault, Caulfield, Gallagher, all in the first period had really good opportunities shooting low. And Binner had the ice sealed the entire night. And when they tried to make the adjustment, the puck would stick to him. Sometimes you got it. And Binnington had it in this game. I thought it was, just absolutely the best goaltending performance I have seen live. And I couldn't tell you. Probably sometime in the Jarl Halak, Brian Elliott era. But I like this inspired me to go out and get my own win.
I was going to say that was the best goaltending performance you had seen in a while until the next night when you did it.
It was inspirational to me, right? And no, I was super happy going to the game in my brand new beautiful Binner sweater. Like, the last time I did this, he got lit up. I don't want to see that. When we were walking up, I'm like, who's Montreal going to have in goal? I was betting it was going to be Mountain Bowl. But I was shocked when I saw it was Fowler. Super happy when I saw it was Fowler because kid's really good. And it was a goalie duel, right? Like I said earlier, we're not going to talk about Jacob Fowler, but he was really good in this game. And it was a goalie duel that the Blues got the better of. So what did not make for save of the week, right? 6 other things that didn't make save of the week. Number 1, end sequence in the first period. Hold on, my notes here. This is why we type interview notes in my line of work.
Yes,
because I can't read this, right?
That's what I do. I have to type because I can't read my own handwriting.
Yeah. So end sequence of the first save on a shot through a screen. I think it was Hudson that took the shot. And Gallagher got a redirect, and Gallagher got the rebound, and Binnington stymied him. Number 2 that didn't make save of the week, one-timer by Demidov. Right when I first saw this, I'm like, oh, I got my save of the week. There it is, one-timer off the slot. Great setup. Demidov, the guy kept finding open ice all night. Got open. Binnington throws out the pad. This is in the second period, so this opposite end of the ice for me. Throws out the pad, goes off of Binnington's pad, hits Suzuki up high, and then Parayko high sticks Suzuki. First of the penalties leading to the 5-on-3. Number 3 that didn't make the save of the week, several opportunities by the Habs on the 5-on-3 in the second period. Another setup where Demidov's on the outside. Montreal sets up a tic-tac-toe play. Caulfield stymied twice, shooting from the left side. Then winds up setting up Sapkowski, who, not sure why he didn't shoot, tries to force a pass back through. Binnington gets paddle on it, throws it out of play. Great awareness to get that paddle into the slot, break up the play. Blues needed a break at that point. Really heads up. Number 4. Oh, I did this out of order. So number 4, pad save, partial breakaway by Bolduc, right? Bolduc was responsible for the Blues opening goal through a very bad pass across that the Blues capitalized on. But he almost made out for it, got a breakaway, and this was a very Joachim Nordstrom-esque type save. Binnington sealing the ice with the right pad, goes back there. Number 5, kick save, and a beauty on Sammy Blais. Probably the one thing that Binnington didn't do well in this game. Tried to corral the puck behind the net, didn't handle it, got a little bit out of position, but he's athletic enough to throw a kick save out there. And for those of you that saw it on the air, Joey Vitale doing a James Brown impression, not the greatest thing, but hey, it made for good TV for a second. And then lastly, the last save that we didn't make the cut for save of the week, Cole Caulfield wraparound. Thought for sure this was going in, right? This was just right in front of us. Couldn't believe that Binnington got across. Go back, watch that replay time and again. He got his skate on it. There's a little bit of traffic, so you're not 100% sure if he did, but he did. Absolute beauty of a save. Any one of those could have been save of the week, but they didn't get it. What did? Well, we're finally here, folks. You've had to sit and watch the graphic without any action here. Well, here it is. Save of the week.
I've fallen asleep. I'm back up now, though.
Wait. or do you need to go watch Stranger Things or something?
Yes, that's what it is.
Sorry.
Yes.
All right. So here we are. We'll get into the save of the week. This is not the final shot on goal of the game because Suzuki got one after this that Binnington also saved, but it's the final sequence to seal the shutout. It goes back to what I was saying before about Binnington sealing the ice, right? Montreal's pressuring, Fowler's pulled. Go ahead and start the video, please. Please start. There we go.
Yeah, it'll give it a second. It'll just get going here. There you go.
There we go. Okay, so Montreal's pressuring. Parayko tries to clear it. Lane Hudson over to Demidov. Rebounds there for Suzuki, and Binner seals it off. Look at that. Look at Hudson. Look it off. He drew 3 Blues to the center, opened Demidov up, slides a perfect pass. Beautiful one-timer. Maybe if Suzuki makes contact on this first rebound, it goes in. But Binnington, look at the stretch. Seals the ice, kicks the pad over, makes the save. This sequence, big save on Demidov, presence of mind to seal the ice, kick over, and make the highway robbery of a save on Suzuki. And the Blues able to clear it out. Hudson knocks it down with a high stick. Plays called dead. This to me was like, finally, he is going to get his shutout this year. I am so happy to see it. You might. Oh, I'm going to rewind that just a little bit at the end.
Play again.
Because you might see me in the crowd back behind here.
Oh.
Let's see. When it gets over to this angle right there. Oh no, we're just above the frame.
Yep.
Thing of beauty.
That's all right.
Thing of beauty.
I'll say though, in that play though, you're one to always say, let's give credit to the goalie. Let's give some credit to the defenseman too. I thought Robert Thomas, he was trying to cover high. The minute the shot came through, he dipped down a little bit lower into the slot and helped tie up Suzuki's stick a little bit. Maybe not exactly to the sense of, he didn't, block the shot or stop the shot, but it at least disrupted Suzuki a little bit on that initial shot to where I think it was harder for him to try and knock that out of the air. Colton Parayko, I don't know who that was on the far side, but Colton Parayko did a very good job of boxing out the other winger who had crashed the net. And the Blues, yes, it was an unbelievable save by Binnington, don't get me wrong, but the defense allowed him to make that save. And that's not something we saw a lot of early in the season. It was a lot of, well, the goalie just basically has to stand on his head and do everything because his defense ain't helping him. The guys did a very good job of boxing players out. Yes, Suzuki still got a shot off there. But again, I think like you said, in that first shot that he attempted that he whiffed on, I think if Thomas's stick doesn't come back, he's got he's a little bit more mindful to be able to get his stick on that and at least maybe kick it forward to where Binnington won't be prepared to make that save.
Yeah, right. You can see Binnington has to stretch back across to get his pad in position for that second attempt. And I think you're absolutely right. And great call by you earlier about how this was a team win, right?
Yeah.
Binnington got the shutout. He made 6, according to Natural Stat Trick, 6 high danger scoring chances. I counted 8, watching this game, seeing it up close and personal. Go back and watch the highlights, right? This game is not leaving my DVR ever, right? Both goalies were really fucking good. Fowler made some, not as many 10-bell saves, but he made a couple. And yeah, I mean, he stopped Snuggerud on a couple of chances I thought Snuggerud probably should have been rewarded on. But yeah, one of my all-time, this has got to be top 3 live goaltending performances I have ever witnessed. Very
nice.
Like I said, gave me inspiration to go out there and recover from a shitty first goal and get my first win in 19 years.
Yeah, that was inspirational. I will say our teammates were when I told them on the bench, like, guys, we got it. Like, it was like third period. We were kind of slowing down a little. And I kind of saved I don't think he's had a win in 20 years comment until that happened. And so I brought that up to a bunch of them. And I think it was even Dalton was like, what? Really? I was like, well, yeah, he had a little break there. He took a long time off, but yeah, he hasn't had a win since we were probably in high school. And he's like, oh, hell yeah. And like, we all just started playing better at that point. So they all wanted to get you the win.
And yeah, the guys were great. And I am thankful the way this league works that, I will be awarded rightfully not only the win but an assist, because the last goal, I had the presence of mind to throw it over. I couldn't remember if it was Bryant or Burgoyne that got the pass and went up the ice, and Dalton scored, I think. So
yeah. Yep. That was a 2-on-1 with me. And it was funny because I wanted to give him trouble because I was wide open and the guy was all over him. And I thought, dude, just send it across and I'm wide open. And then he just shot it and it was just eluded the goalie. And I was like, oh, I'm scared to him. I go, never mind. I wanted to yell at you, but good shot. Funny how hockey works like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think both.
Uh-oh. Bill disappeared for a second. He's back.
Wait, no, I'm waiting for the host to join, and it was last week's show. Are we in the upside down?
We are officially. Well, anyway. Next up for the Blues, we've got Wednesday. So tomorrow night, they play the Blackhawks, 8:30. Hopefully they can keep this going. They have not strung together like last season. It took them forever to string together 3 wins. And all of a sudden, they pulled out 11 out of their hat late in the season. But they do play the Blackhawks tomorrow at 8:30 in Chicago. Then they take to the road again. And Friday, January 9th, they play Utah at 8 o'clock. And then on Saturday, they play back-to-back in Vegas at 9 o'clock. Next Tuesday, they come back home on the 13th, play Carolina at 6:30. So if you have tickets to that game, make sure you recognize that is a 6:30 start. Friday, January 16th. So next Friday, they will play against Tampa at Enterprise Center at 7 o'clock. For us, I would imagine our next show will be next Wednesday, but just stay tuned with us on social media. We will make sure that we let you know when our next show will be, but that's my guess. And we've got our friend comment of the show. Blues are in talks of signing Vecna to a PTO. You want to talk about scary MFers? Vecna's right up there, so I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, and there is a slight resemblance to the Gary Brownlee mask from the early 80s from the Vancouver Canucks.
Did you finish Stranger Things, by the way?
No, I still have 3 episodes to go.
Man, I could not believe that David Hasselhoff showed up and saved the day.
I mean, that was the only way it was ever going to end, with all the 80s throwbacks.
Yeah, it's got to be Hasselhoff, right? It's the Hoff.
Sorry
I ruined that for all of you, but I mean, come on. You all knew it was going to be the Hoff at the end of it. I mean, it had to be. No one else. Maybe Corey Haim is the only other one that could have been.
And
is Corey Haim still with us? Is he?
No,
oh man, I met the other one. Corey Feldman. Is he still with us?
He is still with us.
All right. We'll fix that in post. Bill, anything else to add before we close up the show tonight?
No. Just looking at the standings, the Blues and Blackhawks right there. The Hawks were, have been trending the wrong direction until recently, and they're on a 3-game win streak. So big game tomorrow night. Got to go up there to Chicago and get our first 3-game winning streak of the season, cut theirs off, and let's go on a little bit of a run.
I agree.
What day was it in 2019 that Binnington came up? Was it the 3rd?
The 4th.
The 4th. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So because obviously his big game was the 3rd this year. Just looking for all those parallels. Get that shutout, go on the run.
How about that comment there from Matt Harris? I didn't want to pull it up, but Oh my word. I guess I should read it for a podcast audience. I really don't want to, but it is pretty funny. Noted child kidnapper Vecna makes a pass to his line mate Dylan Dubé. And I'll add, they scored on Carter Hart. D Brown SS says, I want Ivar, no runs. And that is it's about Ivar Stenberg, Otto's brother, who will be a high draft pick this year. And I agree with the no runs. Runs are the worst. You get sick and it's just not pretty. Sorry, had to make the joke. Crickets. I need the cricket sound effect. Where is that? All right. Yeah, you mentioned real quick the standings. So, yes, the Blackhawks are who we thought they were. They are starting to fall back down to reality after holding on to the wild card spot for a long time. But, right now, between first and eighth place in the wild card race, 5 points separate the teams. So right now, the Kings and the Ducks are holding down the first and second wild card spot with 45 points. Then with 43 points, it's the Sharks and the Mammoth. With 42, it's the Predators and the Blues. The Blackhawks have 41, and then the Calgary Flames have 40. And in dead last of the entire league, or is the league? No, I think it's the league. No, I think it is the league. Dead last of the entire league is the Winnipeg Jets.
How is that fucking possible? I mean, hey, let's go back to our preseason prediction, and I said the Jets were gonna fall off and not make the playoffs. I totally got the Wild wrong, but
me too. I said Wild were not going to make playoffs either. I did say I thought the Predators. I thought they were going to take fourth, but I don't think they will. But they are at least battling for a wild card spot. So we're not completely stupid, Bill. We say some smart things sometimes.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. This condensed schedule thing, I think that's having a bigger impact on the way that the standings are shaken out this year. Than other years. I love it. Let's do it. Yep. Let's try to play the season, when we don't have a month-long break. Because another thing to keep in mind, folks, the Blues play 4 games in the month of February. Right? It is an ugly, ugly thing. Luckily, we will have hockey, late night hockey, since we have to
more early afternoon.
Oh, that's right. It is. That's right. This one is better for us because it's to the east of us. So kind of like going back to the pandemic, all those great memories we had of afternoon hockey during the pandemic.
It's funny you say that because I remember how
start another pandemic so we can all be at home to watch it.
I remember we talked about it on this show, how excited we were because there was literally going to be hockey from like noon to like 10 o'clock at least every night, and I remember how excited we were, but then I don't know. I think it's just because we had been locked in our houses for so long. It's like, I barely even remember those days now. Like, I don't even remember like getting excited to turn a game on at noon. It was just like, okay, there's hockey on. Hooray. Like, give me my life back for the world or for the love of God, please.
Right. I think both of us, some of our first, pandemic breaking was going to watch the Montreal Canadiens beat the Toronto Maple Leafs at Center Ice Brewery.
Yes, that was one of my first things I did. That was the night I put my asshole in the wall. Do you know that story?
No.
Well, you're going to hear it real quick. So that night I Ubered home and I was very drunk, as I think you and Kurt might have been too. And got home and it was one of those things, it's like, and we all do this, whether we're drunk or not. We were like, oh, the lights are all off in the house. It's fine. We can, we'll be fine. We can navigate our way around the house. And so I got home, all the lights were off. I was like, I don't need to turn any lights on. I'll just go in the bedroom, take my shit off, and and then I'll just take a quick shower, and then I'll go to bed. And so that's what I started to do. And I walked around the table, the kitchen table, but my son had taken our step stool. This is something my son liked to do at the time. he would literally just take our little step stools and just place it all around the house. It was always moved in a different spot. Well, this time he decided to put it on the other side of the table. And I walked right into it, did one of those things, a Three Stooges moment where I'm like, and I'm like falling around the kitchen, and I land into the wall, knocked the picture frame off the other side of the wall. It was an ugly situation, woke my wife up. Yeah, giant hole the shape of my ass in the wall. And I mean, it was a perfect outline of my butt. And yeah, it was like, good Lord. My wife, she literally said, "You just put an asshole in the wall." And I'm like, I did. I really did.
On multiple levels. That works so well.
Yeah, I remember having to call my buddy who does, he does very good job with plaster and why am I drawing a blank on you fix a wall? It's too late. My brain's not working. He's good at fixing walls. Let's just say that. And
plaster patching,
drywall. Thank you. Drywall was the term I was looking for. He does a very good job with drywall. Does it very quickly.
Gypsum board.
Yeah. And I remember calling him the next day and telling him, and he I didn't hear, he wasn't responding. And I'm like, Alex, he's still there? And then I just kind of hear these, and I'm like, are you okay? And he's just like, dude, I can't stop laughing. I'm like, oh, wait till you see it. It's going to be even funnier. So yeah, that was quite the mistake, but funny story nonetheless. Good COVID story to tell people. All right, I think that's it, Bill. Let's do it.
Real quick. Ken Morris showed up. Have to throw a shout out to him. Been a long time since he's been able to join us. Super happy to see him here. Hope you're doing well, buddy. We miss you, man, and we're pulling for you.
100%. We love you, Ken. Only positive vibes from Let's Go Blues Radio. Please let us know if there's ever anything we can do for you outside of drive to the northeastern side of the globe, which is where I think you are. We're here for you. Just let us know, and very happy to see your picture and see your comments in there, and we hope you're doing well.
Yeah. Well, we may have to drive. There's a Canadian immigration office or a Canadian bureaucrat office not far from Ken that we may have to go drive and knock on the door and ask where are we in line at some point, but that's a different story for another day.
Yes, and
if I do, we'll drop by and see how you're doing again.
Greenland's up there somewhere, right? So when that becomes U.S. territory, we can stop in and see Ken. So that's what we'll do.
Too soon.
Too soon. Oh, come on. It's never too soon. All right. I think it's time we close her up. On that joke, we will close her up. Thanks to our incredible sponsor, StrikeWithMike.com. That will wrap up episode 15 of season 15 of the original St. Louis Blues Hockey Podcast, Let's Go Blues Radio. Thanks for listening, and thanks to those who participated in the YouTube and Facebook live chats during the live show. Make sure to follow us on socials at LGB Radio and follow, and subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. For Kurt Price and Bill Day, I'm Jeff Ponder, and this was Let's Go Blues Radio. Until next time, everyone, let's go Blues. Beat the Blackhawks.
Yes. If Bedard's playing, injure him again. Come on, Braden. You know you can do it. Let's go Blues.
Opening face-off. Just a cold cock right to the face. That's what we want to see. Let's do it, Braden. Come on, baby.
Talking St. Louis Blues hockey, moving fast, can't catch the beat. Skates on fire, ice on defeat.